Now here we are in our weirdness, and I got to look at the rundown for the first time since...
You added things to the rundown, so you shouldn't...
I don't pay attention to it. We're a professional organization.
I love this.
If you're overwhelmed with how professional this is, it's okay. We're just normal people.
It's okay to approach me. You can have your picture taken with me.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Welcome to the Irritable Dad Syndrome, now with more static cling protection. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hey, I'm Darren.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 120.
Good Lord.
I'm very nervous tonight. For the first time, we have, it's not the first time we've had a girl in the studio. We've had a girl as a guest, but we have a special guest. Megan Mitchell is in the studio with us. And for people who don't live in the Cincinnati area, let me tell you that Megan Mitchell, she is a reporter. She is the morning news anchor at WLWT Channel 5, and she's a TikTok sensation. Chick's got over 1 million followers. She is the bee's knees. She's the shizzle, and she's here.
Here.
Like a week or two ago, you were on Tamron Hall show in New York, and now you're in Mike's basement. Anyway, Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. It's fun because that intro, as opposed to other intros, was very dad-like. Bee's knees. I mean, there were so many different phrases that I was just like, I'm now orienting myself to where I am.
Okay.
So, Darren is the boomer of the group. And so I want to kick things off.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, let's dive into it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So you are a news anchor with WLWT. So you're on the weekends?
I'm on the weekend mornings.
Mornings.
Let's just say you're up. It's 5 a.m. Perhaps you stayed up all night and came back from the bars. I'm right there. Perhaps you're like, I'm one of those runners who's like going to get a head start on my life. I'm also there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For everyone else, please be in bed.
So being a news anchor,
Yeah.
is that pretty hard?
Mike asks the most in-depth questions. He just cuts to it. He doesn't screw around.
I don't have time to screw around,
Right.
Darren. I got to get right to the heart of the matter.
You know, it's the only thing I've done professionally since college, right?
Okay.
So,
all right.
of course, I was a camp counselor. I was a bus girl at an Italian restaurant.
You seem like a camp counselor now that you bring that up.
Hey.
I was a camp counselor at 4-H camp in Virginia.
There you go.
Yes, I was.
And
Thank
you
you.
seem like a camp counselor at a 4-H camp.
I have this lazy eye. It's a cross eye, and I was teaching archery lessons. Like pulling the thing back, and one eye's here, one eye's there. I really, really jacked it up on purpose, but the kids just they wanted to take another class.
Oh man, but it's the only thing I really know.
So how do you go from you're in college? Okay,
Yeah.
I've been there a couple times.
Thanks.
You
A couple times.
you get out. They give you a paper that says you know this particular thing,
Journalism,
and then
right?
you go
Journalism.
from and you go from there to now you're on TV talking to people
In North Dakota.
Well, okay, all right.
So yes,
Talking to a person.
Yeah, literally a cow.
The cows are a huge demographic in North Dakota.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best stories that I had in North Dakota was actually breaking news. And this is not a joke. This is for real. There was an officer that was injured after a confrontation with a cow on the side of the highway. And in this clip, which I do have, and I will have to give it to you guys, I say the officer approached him and the cow charged and did knock him over. The officer did get up with minor injuries.
Yeah.
That was that.
You don't want to mess around with cows.
No. When I was a kid, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast, but I was afraid of cows. I was deathly afraid of cows. Yeah. We had them growing up in Virginia. Some of our neighbors had cattle on their property.
Yeah.
And whenever we'd walk up in the woods to play Indiana Jones, they would just stare at me and I would run like hell because any second they're going to charge.
Yeah.
They're going to trample me. They're going to suck my blood. They're going to kick my head in. And my brother's like, what's your deal? He was right. I never once was attacked.
This officer would say that maybe you had something there, Darren.
Yeah.
I mean, the one story I told here long ago was the time I put a backpack on a cow. You remember
Yes.
in a field. It
Wait.
was dark. I didn't know that was a cow. I thought it was a rock.
No.
And I was lost, and I put it down, and suddenly the rock is standing up and looks at me.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs, voted best hot dog for the 7th year in a row by the National Hot Dog and Sausage Association. Whoppers are made from 100% pure beef with no fillers and no preservatives. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't a foot long, they'll refund your money, guaranteed. Whoppers. Now back to the show.
Tell me about these insane work hours. Now, I worked the morning show several times at a couple different TV stations.
Yeah.
But I didn't get up as early as you do.
Oh,
and
okay.
even Randy, the meteorologist, she's there before you guys.
Yes, she is.
It's ridiculous.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a crazy, you know what, once again, it's the only thing I know. Why? Because in North Dakota, I was on the exact same work shift, right?
Yeah.
3:30 a.m. you get there. And you have to wake up. It depends. You know, when I first started in the industry, I'm like, I'm going to wake up at 2 a.m. And now it's like 2:45. I'm like rolling out of bed, you know, you just got to work with what will get you sleep, because you realize as the years go on, the more sleep you get, the less likely you are to really embarrass yourself in front of tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've embarrassed myself into tens of people before,
Yeah.
but well rested,
Yeah.
sometimes on purpose. But yeah, I've been getting a lot of sleep lately. That's been my new thing. I'm like really into sleep.
What's that like?
Love that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I get right now where I'm at, if I get 6 hours, I feel horrible.
Yeah.
Like I have to get at least 7.5. If I get 8, then it's amazing. Like I'm running around, and I feel so amazing through the day that I stay up late that night, and then I get like 5 hours of sleep. I can't do it.
I can't remember the last time I got 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
Really?
I can't believe we're talking about this.
Yeah. Next, we'll talk about knitting with Megan Mitchell after these announcements. How long were you at WLWT?
Okay, so I've been here for 6.5 years.
Okay.
Yep.
And I want you to be completely honest. Who is the biggest pain in the ass to work with? I think I know who, and I'm going to write it down, and then I want you to write it down, and then we'll check.
See if our answers match up. You know, he actually left a year or two.
Oh,
I'm just
wow.
kidding.
Wow.
It's not
Wait,
Darren.
that was me.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, I used to work with Megan.
Yes.
I used to do local commercial production at Channel 5. And occasionally I would jump into the creative services department with Carrie and Christina, who would do promos. And it was
Yes.
always a delight doing promos with you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
Yeah,
always fun. Yeah.
I always had fun with
yeah.
the whole team.
Well, you're supposed to have fun. That's what, that's what work is for. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the F in work. Wait.
Okay. Wow.
So my neighbor Chris Michael, I was talking to him today, and he wanted to ask when you were a little girl. This is a 2-part question.
Yeah.
Did you know you wanted to go into journalism, or who was the person who made you want to go into that field?
When I was young, I wanted to be a marine biologist because I love sharks. But then I hit high school, and my freshman year, I had decided I'm going to be a gym teacher.
Okay.
And then I asked my gym teacher, Mrs. Sable, hey, like, I want to be a gym teacher. What should I do? And she looked at me and she goes, you're not being a gym teacher.
Oh.
And I'm like, and
Yeah.
then I decided with my mom, we realized that I did love sports, right?
Yeah.
And I also loved the arts, which is kind of like an interesting combo in high school. I
Yeah.
feel like some people are like, I only do theater, or so I was like, I like both, and I also like writing a lot. But the biggest thing I loved was all of this stuff. I made a green screen in my basement.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I was just like obsessed with, I got like work lights and used them as, studio lights. And I had so much fun. So I was like, I want to work in media. And because I love all of this stuff, journalism would be a great way to kind of do a different thing every day so that my ADHD mind can handle it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, so Darren, I don't know if you know this. She's
Yeah.
on the TikTok, what
Yes.
the kids call TikTok.
Yes.
And I'm like,
TikTok.
I'm like, well, we're having this person in my basement, so I should probably watch one of these damn things. So I watched one, and I think it's you, unless
yeah.
you're a big liar on TikTok, and so you can come clean here. I think it's you on a swing, and you said, I'm a broadcaster, or I'm What is that? You?
That was me. So it's so funny. I have
Research.
like a number of videos of me just like broadcasting
Yeah.
from a young age. So, you know, while I had these interests like sharks and everything, it was always in the stars that I was like bound to just do broadcasting.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess
Cool.
what? I just followed the exact path. I mean, people ask, you know, after college, you know, how did you get into it? And it's just this path that you follow.
Yeah.
You go to school for journalism and then you go to a place like North Dakota.
Yeah. So then you end up working with Darren. And you get lucky that he leaves, and then you think this is so awesome that he left. I'm going to move to a different state and see if that's even better. Is that the thought process that led you?
You know, it went something like that. I was like totally content being here in Cincinnati. I love it here, and I get a call in late August. It was from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
From
The entire city?
the entire city and they all said,
Damn, they must really want you. Yeah. It was a group call.
It was a group call. They were on speaker, you know.
Yeah.
I get on the phone with the news director from WFAA, which is the ABC affiliate, and she literally said, she's like, "What will it take to get you here?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "This will never happen again in my life."
And you said, I want a private jet.
Yeah.
I want your job when I get there.
I'm
And that's it.
And what's
I
the
want $1 million
temperament?
bucks.
What's the temperament of the cows? You probably asked
Exactly.
that because
Of
you don't want to
course.
have the same thing that happened to
No.
the North
Yeah,
Dakota.
She does not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's called a callback.
Yeah, that's very, very good, Mike.
I love this.
You're listening to The Megan Mitchell Show. We'll be back after these messages.
Over 15 million people are enjoying the closest thing to a perfect shave with the Gillette Track 2 razor.
Track 2 gets as close as I think a razor can get.
Well, I think the Track 2 is about the greatest razor I've ever used, sir.
Track 2 is like feeling his face. There's like peach fuzz.
I couldn't believe it. The first blade cuts, and then the second blade gets it before it gets back into the skin. If you don't believe me, come over and use mine first before you buy one.
The Gillette Track 2 shaving system, the closest thing to a perfect shave.
What part of North Dakota were you in?
Bismarck.
Okay, that's the
Okay.
that's the state capital.
They named a
That's
donut
the
after that,
capital.
didn't they? Is that-
Remember that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's watching and they're like, this capital or this city in North Dakota is the capital and also named after a German leader. He's like, Hitler. And Mark's like, Hitler, North Dakota? And it's one of my favorite. Yeah. No, my brother lived in Minot, North Dakota when he was in the Air Force.
Of course.
And he had absolutely no good things to say about North Dakota.
It's a tough one.
You have to plug your car in at night to keep it from freezing.
You do have to do that.
Yeah.
I fortunately had a garage
Yeah.
in the bottom part of the apartment complex.
Oh, you were one of them high uppity ones.
I mean, you would think on my $26,000 a year salary, everyone just has to have something.
So how long total have you been in television now?
Okay, so I got in March of 2014, and we are coming up on, so almost 9 years.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell an embarrassing story and then you tell an embarrassing story.
Oh, perfect.
So I started off in television at WJHL TV in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Okay.
Camera operator. And the camera operators would also be the floor directors. We didn't have one
Yep.
extra person to floor. We would essentially have 3 floor directors.
Okay.
So I stepped outside of my camera and I cued Bob Lewis, and then I stepped back and I stepped on the cable and the camera went straight up into the lights. And everybody in the control room would go, whoa! I brought it down and Bob Lewis, professional, never missed a beat. He didn't stop. He continued his story. Didn't look funky. He didn't. And when we went to a break, he's like, you all right, Darren? I said, yeah, I'm good. And, my boss, Rusty, said, same thing. Darren, yeah, next time, just watch for the cables. And all I got, and I was blood red. Absolutely brilliant. And I think that was day 2.
Yeah.
So, but what type of embarrassing things have you done?
Oh, gosh, you guys. I mean, here's the thing. WLWT went through this big renovation where we got this new set, and it's a beautiful set. I, in the old studio, had been used to wearing my sweatpants and my shoes. So I was like, okay.
Your sneakers.
My sneakers. And so I was like, we're just going to wear this. I didn't have my sweatpants on that day, but I definitely had sneakers on. I'm like, okay, I can get through this show without people seeing my shoes, as I could for the past 4 years. No. With this new set, with the new desk that they had, I realized at the very end of the show that they're going to pull out the camera and you're going to see my feet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what did I do in that moment? I think there's a couple options, right? Keep the shoes on and show your sneakers. Quickly tell someone in the back, hey, don't take this shot.
Yeah.
No, I decided to rip off my sneakers and throw them across the studio and just leave my bare feet, my bare feet. And all of a sudden I realized, oh no, you can see the bare feet. So I put my legs out straight, you know, and try to put them behind this pole. Realize that now it just looks like my feet are straight out. And then what does the camera operator do? The director in the back, he takes that camera so you can see my lateral legs, bare feet. I'm like, this is horrible. And I got so many texts being like, Megan, what are you doing? That was horrible.
No, I love every year when they do the, I've worked at 4 different TV stations, and every year someone would put together a blooper tape that they would show at the Christmas party. And then a couple times, like, news directors would frown on that, which I don't know why. And then they just kind of stopped doing it, which I'm like, why would you stop doing that? It was so much fun. I mean, come on, we all make mistakes. You guys are, and I still, even though I don't do live television anymore, I still applaud the crews and the directors and the talents and the reporters and everyone who does the live talent, because, I mean, you cannot be expected to be perfect.
No.
Every single day, every day of the year for the rest of your life. It's ridiculous.
It is. And I think that is the one philosophy I really take with me, no matter where I go, no matter what newscast I'm on, is I'm like, I will never be one of those polished news anchors. I will always be someone who, I mean, like, this is life, right? We're going to do our best. If it doesn't work out, guess what? We're moving on. Yeah. We're recognizing it. We're making fun of it.
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
Roll with it.
Yeah.
You just roll with it. That's all you can do.
Exactly. And you know what? Here's the thing. I think there's some news directors, perhaps mine, who will say, Megan, there's so many people watching and they're, not judging you, but he's very much interested in making sure that we recognize that there's people on the other end of the camera. Whereas I have a different philosophy. I really feel that, like, people are really forgiving. And if you're not so serious about yourself, like, people aren't going to be.
Yeah.
Like, we're all just trying.
I think you have to kind of be yourself. I mean, if you look at, like, old newscasts and old TV, they're overacting so much. They're trying to be so over the top perfect that it's
I could not agree
weird.
more.
Right.
Totally agree.
And out here, we've got Megan Mitchell on the show.
And I'm like, why are we talking like this?
I don't
But no, it is like, and then there's no room in my world for people like Bill O'Reilly. We'll do it live. That guy. It's just like, calm down.
Yeah.
Just settle. We're all going to be fine. We're going to do the promo.
Literally.
And then we're going to go on our lunch break or whatever. So
yeah, because sometimes that's the fun stuff, is when things go sideways a little bit. I mean, as the worst it got here, I think you threw a pencil at me.
I did throw a pencil at you one time.
He got annoyed with me. He was trying to tell a squirrel story, and I thought I was being funny in my defense.
We had 2 guests on the show. They host a podcast called Textual Tension, where they rate romance novels.
That's amazing.
And so the only thing close I had to a romance novel was this story by David Sedaris, my favorite author. And it's from the book Squirrel Seeks Chipmunk. And I'm trying to read this, and Mike, he would not stop interrupting me. And
there were so many opportunities for humor.
Of course.
And I threw a pen at him.
Yeah.
I missed, but I threw it at him.
It was the thought that counted.
Yeah.
But then he tried to do the same thing back to me and to give me some of my own medicine a few episodes later. And I didn't throw anything at him.
Yeah.
But I got highly annoyed.
The way that we are all set up, for those who are just listening, I am in the middle. And I really feel like I'm being like a mediator.
I'd like, You know what? I feel like maybe you should ask us the questions and then like point counterpoint type of thing.
How do we feel about that?
I think Darren and I have irreconcilable differences. And I'm sorry. I'm holding the talking coffee right now. It's my turn to talk, Darren.
I've got the talking glass. Yeah. Where's the talking pillow? We need the pillow.
So it's whenever we have somebody come down here that I realize how ridiculous this setup is, because it's completely set up just for me and him to talk to each other and not be close enough to hit each other. And when you put somebody else in the like you're in the middle, you've got to do kind of this thing, but also make sure your voice is hitting the microphone, so you're doing this.
Okay, yeah.
She's like watching tennis.
When we
I
hit
thought
it,
that this was like a COVID setup because let me tell you guys, they're probably 15 feet apart.
I was trying to combine this with general life down here because it is my basement.
That's
and so I did have things like set up on this table. They're gone now, and now I've got all my U2 stuff. I was trying to make it functional, and we just ended up being this far apart.
Well, when we first started, we did it 1 week in my basement, 1 week in Mike's basement, and then that just didn't be turned out not practical
once
at
we
all.
bought this thing and we bought the actual microphones, then nobody wants to move this.
Be glad you weren't on the early shows; those really sucked.
Oh,
jeez.
Great.
Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Otis Elevators. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. Last week, I had a very important meeting with some highbrow big shots, and I was almost late. Why? Well, the building where they had the meeting didn't have an Otis elevator, so I took the stairs. I'm not a young man, but I tell you what, I can still climb 13 flights of stairs if I have to. Anyway, I made it in time because I always leave an hour early, just in case something like this happens. I'm brand loyal, and I only ride Otis elevators. There's nothing like the feel, the smell, and the comfort of an Otis elevator. If the building you're in doesn't have an Otis, you need to take the stairs. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, you left the music on again.
We're starstruck with you. This is a segue, Mike. We're very starstruck having Megan Mitchell here.
That's wow.
Who was your biggest interview? Who was your oh my God, I cannot believe I interviewed this person. And while because a few years ago, Billy Bob Thornton was coming to town. He was coming up to this club up north of us at JD Legends, and Nishan, our friend Nishan, knows the guy there who runs it. And I said, I'd like to meet Billy Bob Thornton. I said, I'll buy my concert ticket. I just want to meet the guy. Yeah. And Nishan says, let me find out. So the next 2 days or whatever, he comes and he says, it's all taken care of. You're going to be doing the exclusive interview, and we're good. I'm like,
hey, what happened?
What? So I'm doing the interview? What interview? I didn't know I was doing it. I just wanted to meet the guy. He says, no, you're doing an interview. So I'm like, oh, Jesus. So I brought the camera and lights and the mics and everything. And I interviewed Billy Bob and his 2 members of his band. And his manager told me, he says, you have 20 minutes tops. And Billy Bob doesn't want to talk movies. He only wants to talk about his music. Don't ask him about movies or TV or it's off. Right. And so I was like nervous. I was afraid. I thought Billy Bob's just going to be a real jerk and whatever. He could not have been nicer. Yes. He wouldn't shut up. A half hour, we're into it. And the manager comes and says, Billy Bob, you got to go. He was trying to tell Billy Bob to shut up. But I was like, I can't believe I interviewed Billy Bob Thornton.
Did he use all of his names when he was trying to get in the movie? Was he like, William Robert Thornton, you need to get moving. We don't have time for this.
His manager 3 named him. That's right. But no, who have you interviewed?
Okay, so I've interviewed a number of U.S. senators, so like Rob Portman, Sherrod Brown, John Hoeven. With that said, my personal favorite, just because I'm such a big fan of this show, was Greg Daniels, who's the creator of The Office.
The reason that I got bad customer reviews is because I didn't. There is a massive conspiracy going on here, and I know you're involved.
Dwight, get out of my nook. That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Oh. Yeah. Oh my God, we love The Office.
I'm on my 4th watch through the entire series.
Yeah.
And that is why, because I was very similar, right? I've seen it so many times. I don't even know what, because I just like go back to some favorite episodes. If I'm in the mood, if I think of a joke, I'll go back to that episode. So I get in front of Greg Daniels, and here's the thing. Now I have a chance to ask him about all of the little things, what did Jim put in the teacup,
the mug that he gave. He gave Pam for Christmas.
And so he's answering these questions, and he doesn't answer some. So I'm like, this is my favorite interview because like I'm so much of my life revolves around, especially during the time, The Office. I was obsessed with watching it at that time. So I'm like, this was the cool because you had like access, right?
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
I would be worried for myself to interview him because I would have to ask, why did you do seasons 8 and 9?
I didn't even.
Darren, this is supposed to be a people be tapping me on the shoulder. No, because we were in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, and we're at the hotel, and we're flicking through channels before we went to bed, and The Office is on. I'm like, oh, cool. And I just couldn't find anything funny about it.
I still like him. Is it Robert Holly? What is his name? Robert California.
Yeah.
I still like him. Did you ask him what gives you the right and who do you think you are? Please tell me
did you walk up to him and go,
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Oh, God. If you follow Steve Carell...
I'm like, why are you the way that you are?
Every now and then, Steve Carell will still blame something on Toby Flenderson.
Of course.
It's hysterical.
It's the best.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And so, I've interviewed a number of, famous people.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was the best interview, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really cool.
So, what about you, Mike?
Well, I've not interviewed anyone famous besides you.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
I've met Bono, so I can say that I didn't get to ask him a question because he's whining about his voice. I got to go steam my voice, whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't. No, I'm a huge, if you can't tell,
I love
I'm a
the
YouTube
stuff.
and all
Mike,
that over there.
That poster there in the middle, Mike took that picture.
I did. I took that in, that was in London.
So my girlfriend's mom.
This is great for an audio podcast.
I saw all these U2 things, and she's such a big U2 fan that I was like, oh my god, Mrs. Schultz would love this.
Yeah. You can take pictures if you sign a waiver. But no, we were going to see the Joshua Tree tour, the second with the 2017. It was in Louisville. It was in Louisville.
Yeah.
And we just happened to be passing by when Bono was passing by, and I ditched all of them and ran over to meet him. I have pissed off Sean Hannity. Do you want to hear that story?
Wow. I mean, also, who hasn't pissed off Sean Hannity?
He wakes up and
he's mad.
So I got him to sign Alan Colmes' book because remember Hannity and Colmes used to have a show.
Okay, I don't remember that, but
so Hannity was on the
radio.
Well, I was going to say on the right side, and Colmes is it was one of those Crossfire.
It's like a point counterpoint.
Yeah,
I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah,
like Jon Stewart said, one of those.
Yeah,
and so Bess, my wife, had an Alan Colmes book.
Okay,
and I will admit it, I had a Sean Hannity book.
Yeah.
And I took both of those there for him to sign, and I thought it would be hilarious if he signed the Alan Colmes book. And it passed through the line, and then the people were getting signed, and he looked at it, he's like, what is this? Who is this? And I'm like, that's me. Can you sign it for? He's just like, all right, and signed it. So I have it here.
Yeah.
That's a good story, actually.
Yeah. After I tell it, it's really not. But
no, it is.
I'm trying to think what other. I met Beeper from Mr. Cartoon when I was a kid.
With what Dr. Butts and Honeydew? And
what?
Oh wait, that's Beaker. I'm sorry. Me. Oh, no. I'm thinking Beaker. You're talking Beeper.
No, this is a redneck thing in Huntington.
Okay.
Mr. Cartoon was on WSAZ Channel 3. He has to have been dead for 50 years by now, but he was. He had a dude that was supposed to. I think it's because Chewbacca was famous. We've gone way off to think we can. Beeper. This is the glory of editing. This is all going to be
all the cutting.
We gotta have good stuff for the patrons.
Yes,
it'll get to the point. Mike, have you met it? And they'll go to the next topic. But yeah, I met Beeper was this terrifying thing they obviously made because Chewbacca was famous. He had these big eyes and he couldn't speak. He just the clown horn.
I have no idea what you're doing, what you're saying, where you're going.
At a side.
But I love it.
At a side. So Beth said, so Megan Mitchell is coming to be on the podcast. She's like, what are you going to say?
I could just hear. Did she sit you down?
And you know what? Unlike the cutout that you're gonna do, you should only send this part to her.
Yeah.
So she has some of her friends that are listening. They're gonna tune into this thing and be like, "What is wrong with?"
Nice going, Mike.
Yeah,
way to go.
Yeah. This would be like me listening to a podcast where somebody has Bono and they're like, "So what's your favorite ice cream? Is it?"
Yeah. Well, now because you've been on air, and Cincinnati's not a huge town, but it's still kind of small. Yeah. So you probably get recognized every day. Is that safe? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
How do you deal with that? I mean, some people don't like it, and some people just, and embrace it, or...
You know what? I am a big fan of like community in general. So like anything that makes me feel a part of the community, anything that, if I just love being embraced by and embedded in a community. So like that to me is like very much up my alley. Yeah. And it's not like, it annoys people. Think like, I don't want to annoy you. I'm like, unless I'm like literally slurping down a spaghetti, right. Please come over. You know what I mean? I love talking to people. I love seeing people, and it's the best.
I did stand up one night, and it was one of the rare nights that it went pretty well. It was one of those gigs where you got paid and you got free food and drink. So nice. I did my set. And then I went in the back of the place and I'm eating a burger and having a beer. And this guy walks up and he gets like the distance between me and Mike. He leans over and goes, I don't mean to bother you, but you're funny as hell. I'm like, swallow. I'm like, thank you. And then I thought, that's my chance to go, hey, I'm eating here. Do you mind? I missed the opportunity to do that. But now I'm real good friends with Larry Hanley, who used to be a meteorologist at Channel 9.
Yeah.
And when he would go out, and it's not like it bothered him, but he never would, it's like, I'm not really worthy of people recognizing me, and because he never thought he was a celebrity. Yeah. He appreciated it. And we were having dinner one day, and he was joking around with me or something. I said, I'm 5 seconds away from standing up and going, is that Larry Hanley? and drawing a crowd. And he's like, no, don't.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Zipper Lube. Are you tired of wasting hours of your precious time futzing around trying to open and close sticky zippers? Well, have a seat, Tony. I have a product for you. Just rub some Zipper Lube across that annoying zipper and your problems will magically disappear. Easy up, easy down, easy all around. Zipper Lube. Available wherever quality zipper-related products are sold. Now back to you, Mike and Derek.
Okay, let's get to the big thing. How did you get to be so popular on TikTok?
I remember it was like the pandemic. So there were so many people that went to TikTok, right? I mean, especially kind of Gen Z was really on it. And then millennials and so many people just would scroll through it because we all didn't have much to do then. I go on TikTok and I very quickly recognize that I am gay. I recognized that about 12 years ago. With that said, I recognized that the For You page, which is like the home page of TikTok, it is the craziest algorithm ever. If you watch a specific amount of seconds on a video, it will push that video more. If you scroll a video quicker than the other one, it won't push more of those videos for you. So there are people who actually, my girlfriend included, found out they were gay through TikTok's algorithm. Because it was like, you're gay. It just kept showing her gay videos. And she's like, oh, wait. Yep.
She didn't know she was gay.
She did not know she was gay.
Oh, my God. Okay. Wow. Thanks, TikTok.
Thank you, TikTok. So
maybe I should check.
Yeah, this is actually the test that you need. Yeah. I recognized that, I immediately got into the LGBTQ community side of TikTok. It just kept pushing those videos. I recognized the jokes on TikTok, the culture, the trends. And so then you just push out content that works with it. And I just did it at the anchor desk.
Oh, yeah. One of the many things I admire about you is when you believe in a cause, you really believe in it. And you really,
it's true.
You really support and push and give it your all. Yeah. And what you mean to the LGBT community is, it's insane. You have done so much to raise awareness and to bring good vibes to it.
Well, and I think, especially as a journalist, you try not to put yourself in the story, but I very much view my TikTok as just my story, right? So I just share, and it's not like I'm going on there saying any type of, all gay people. No, I'm literally saying, hey, this has been my experience. So hey, in high school, I did this. And when I came out, my mom and dad treated me like this, whatever. Yeah. So it's very, very specific to just everything I've gone through, which can't be disputed, right? That's not like an argument.
Yeah. Right.
And so I feel like just by sharing my story, if that's allowed anybody, especially, for instance, Lakota West. I've spoke at their school twice now, various capacities, to talk about my experience with being a professional person on the anchor desk as an LGBTQ figure. And so it's been really fulfilling. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's felt full circle because I very much tried to be the person I needed, because when I got into the business, there wasn't an out person. Anderson Cooper wasn't out yet. Robin Roberts wasn't out yet. And so I just didn't see that path forward, even though I had known for 5 years at that point that I wanted to be on air. So
I think you've become very successful. Okay, so I started in television in 93. And I remember...
was 1 year old.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
God.
I had to say.
Thank you.
Wow.
Just one call out.
I remember being at our TV station, and someone was going through resume tapes, and I was just hanging around, and one of the people looked at the tape and goes, "Oh, it's a woman and she wants to be in sports." And just kind of tossed it. Says, women, they don't hire women in sports. And I was like thinking then, I'm like, really? And now every single NFL game, there's a woman on the sideline or in the desk. And so many people are out now. So many people are breaking all these boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's, is it at a point where it's unique now, or is it way past that now?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, does it surprise you? I've been surprised. Okay, so I'm Gen X, and I think we've determined, even though I called Darren a boomer, we're both Gen X.
Yeah,
right?
I'm 5 years older than you.
So when I was growing up, I thought we were the cool generation. Yeah. Like our parents was like, okay, you just don't get this. We're going to make this right. We're going to do this right. We had everything. We had Van Halen, U2. We had all of them, like Pearl Jam. You're welcome. Yeah. We had all that stuff.
Mike still claims responsibility for Pearl Jam.
And then just in the past, I don't know, I'm losing track of time as I get older, maybe 10 years. Look on Facebook, some people in my generation that I know are all of a sudden like way the older generation was, like very unaccepting and very judgmental. And I'm like, whoa, you're on our team. What are you doing? Yeah. You're not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to be like, we're pushing everything forward. We're being more progressive. We were the progressive. I felt like we were the progressive generation. And now it's like my kids. I'm like, there's people daddy's age that suck. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just, I thought that was it. I thought it was going to go away with the previous generation. And now it's like, it's really here again.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. Technically, and not to just badmouth my father, but my dad was anti a lot of things.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of our fathers were.
He was. Mom and dad split when I was around 8. Thank God. I had more raising from my mom, but I can't imagine what I would have been like, or what I would have believed, or how anti I would have been had I had more influence. And I still loved the man, and he was, he's a good guy and everything. But I just wonder how much longer it's going to take to break these stigmas.
So my dad died relatively young when he was 53. But one of the stories of him was that he was kind of an enigma in that we had on our street, there was one gay couple, and I knew about that because this is in Kentucky, and everybody knew where the gay couple lived in Kentucky. And where
in Kentucky were you?
It was Ashland.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that he would go over and mow their lawn for them when one of them was sick or something was going on, and everyone was kind of shunning them, and he was going over and mowing their lawn. It was just like a thing he did.
Yeah.
We never talked about it. It was just like, it was one of those things like everybody's out in the yard and they say, oh, there goes, my dad, and he's going to go mow the lawn. Everybody stops. It's like, what? Wow.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
Where did that come? But that's still around.
I know. And, I think especially within the last, I'm going to say 12 to 13 years, there's just been this uptick in LGBTQ acceptance. I don't know if you guys have felt that.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like, unlike other oppressions, right? Someone doesn't just become Black. I mean, they're Black from the get-go, and you can put assumptions on them right then and there when they're born. With LGBTQ folks, a lot of the times, you know, a mother will get to know their child for 18 years before they really find out that they're a part of a group that this mother had, you know, thought were bad or different, right? And so you unconditionally love this person. And now you recognize, oh, wait, maybe that whole group isn't that bad. Yeah. Right. So like, I feel like LGBTQ people have like this 18-year period where we're like, love us, love us, love us. Yeah. Oh, wait, we're a part of that group.
Yeah.
So it could be easier to understand when you love someone deeply.
Yeah.
What they're going through.
Absolutely.
We got way serious on this.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's totally fine.
Wait, can I now claim that there's been a nice little moment in my podcast with you guys?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
See, it's not all fun and games around here,
folks.
folks.
It's the Megan Mitchell Show. Yeah. Wait, are we invited on your podcast?
When I get one.
Okay. Sweet.
Hi, I'm Dave Lay, the announcer for Irritable Dad Syndrome. Do you have a business or product you'd like to advertise? Well, this is the perfect place to do it. Send a message to our Facebook page and one of our marketing geniuses will take care of everything. If it works for Whoppers all-beef footlong hot dogs, it'll work for you too. So what are you waiting for? Get your ad on Irritable Dad Syndrome now. Back to you in the studio.
Let's go back to TikTok, because I didn't know that whatever you scrolled faster or slower or stopped on or whatever is what, and that would explain something because, okay, my mom years and years ago, she dated a guy and he was a farrier. And a farrier is the guy who shoes horses. You put you take the shoes off and then you put new shoes off. One day on TikTok, and I don't know why it popped up because I didn't search horse feet, but this guy's cleaning the foot off a horse and putting new horseshoes on it. And now every day it's just like I'm inundated with these horseshoe videos and that explains it.
Here's the thing, Darren.
Yeah.
You know, some people find out they're gay. Other people find out that they love a farrier.
They love
horses.
No, I love horse feet. I don't love farriers.
You love horse feet.
I love watching a horse get its feet cleaned. Just I could watch it
They're
all
talking
day.
about horse feet and fairies on that show. I don't like it.
Not a fairy, a farrier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And there's two things that I love on TikTok. There is and I meant to write it down. There is a woman who works at a senior center, and every day she dances with this guy, Gary. He's like in his upper 60s and she's, I don't know, probably in her 30s, early 40s. And they're just getting down. And every day they post these videos of them dancing, and I cannot possibly like them enough.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then there's another video that I found of Ellie Mae the sheep. She was... they had ignored her and it wasn't abused, but neglected. Neglected is the word. Like 6 years she'd went without being sheared and she was afraid of people or whatever. And they built the trust with the sheep and got her sheared. And now she's like living with alpacas and other sheep. And every day I'm like, Libby, I got another Ellie Mae video. And then the kids rush in to watch. And I'm like, thanks TikTok, because
you know, Darren, we're on very different sides of that app.
What do you watch on TikTok?
Gay videos.
Okay.
So
just people
being gay.
Yeah,
with their
their little gay jokes, gay songs.
Give us a gay joke. What's a gay joke?
Yeah, because Mike and I, we can't tell a gay joke.
You know, it's very specific. Like it's very specific to like different. I mean, there's always this.
Okay.
This is a non-binary joke. Okay.
All right. Okay.
How does a non-binary person kill someone?
Oh, this went dark.
Oh, how?
They slash them.
Okay. All right.
I'll add in the drum.
Okay. So now that you've shared that, I would like to share with you my favorite joke of all time. Darren, if I may.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to ask me. It's your podcast.
So there's two muffins that are sitting. There's two muffins that are sitting in the oven. All right.
Yeah.
And one muffin looks at the other muffin and says, "You think it's getting a little warm in here?" And the second muffin says, "Holy, it's a talking muffin."
Waka, waka, waka.
Okay.
I always look
Are we
for
going to put the drum in for that?
Yeah.
No, please don't put the drum. He knows I don't. I do not like the drum.
He doesn't like when I add the rim shot in when I edit the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be the point when me and Bess are driving. She's like, I can't believe
you did the muffin
joke. I can't believe this. You're 44 minutes. What else are you going to, what are you? Yeah. Where else is this going to go? You're going to fart on air? No, I don't have one brewing, but I did say the word.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Stop it. See, this is why I was nervous. Stop it.
Am I embarrassing you?
No, you're not.
Okay.
It's fine. You haven't done anything worse than anything I've said tonight.
Or me.
So let's get to another serious topic.
Yes. Please.
Pop-Tarts.
Of course.
Do you eat them right out of the box or do you toast them?
Depends how much time I have.
Okay. Will you eat them right out of the box?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially like we have a sports segment that's connected to a weather segment. And that gives the anchor, the sole anchor, moi, some time to run down to the snack room, get a little Pop-Tart out of the thing, and then run back up to the anchor desk and eat the Pop-Tart, which I prop behind the laptop so no one can see it. But I don't have time to toast it.
So
you know
now I'm going to be watching wondering, does she have a Pop-Tart in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I've actually, listen, I get people saying, oh, I can see that you have Ritz cheddar and onion today. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I had another person say, Megan, we can see your prescription bottles.
Let me ask you this. Do you eat both? Because Pop-Tarts come in twos. Do you eat both of them like an American or just one at a time like a communist?
What do you mean? Do I like
do you eat both of the Pop-Tarts?
Yeah.
Like
not
you don't save one for later?
No.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Little Debbie snack cakes, like the Swiss rolls. You open one,
Who
you eat them
saves
both.
them?
Communists.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy people.
You can cut all that
No,
out.
I'm leaving that in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any guilty pleasures? Like TV shows that are, there's everyone thinks are horrible and you can't get enough of them?
I
Besides
know.
this podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
My number one guilty pleasure.
Uh-huh.
The Kardashians.
I've never seen that.
I haven't either. Yeah. I really haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's a guilty pleasure because you guys didn't go, oh no. You went, That's why it's a true guilty pleasure.
No, I'm not judging. I've never watched it. There was
only reinforcing the fact that was such a good guilty pleasure.
Yeah. No, there was one night where our Netflix was down. And so you could either watch basic cable or you could watch what was on Netflix.
Yeah.
We're scrolling through basic cable and my wife looks at the thing and she says, what's Naked and Afraid? And I said, well, that's a competition where two people they're naked and they're afraid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we watched it, and I'll be damned if we didn't watch 3 episodes that night. We just could not stop watching that. And then there was another night where we couldn't stop watching Storage Wars, where people were bidding on storage bins that had been abandoned.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're, I don't know what it was. I'm fascinated with it, and I couldn't stop watching it. And then I just had to because it was changing me personally.
I've been, and Darren laughed at me. I didn't realize how much I was watching this stuff because the last time I mentioned this in a podcast, you said you've been watching that for a year now, is police interrogation and DUI arrest videos. They're fascinating to me.
Fascinating.
Because these people are trying to act sober and they look way, way drunk. Way drunk. Yep. And I'm watching this the entire time and I can't help it. It's please cut that out. It's terrible. Please just edit in that I watched the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, the Berenstain Bears.
Not Berenstain Bears.
Okay. Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the 4-Slice Toaster. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and my family loves toast. Back in the day, before all this podcast money rolled in, I had a 2-slice toaster, and me and my family were just miserable. By the time the 3rd and 4th piece of bread was toasted, the 1st and 2nd pieces were already cold. And who needs that crap? Am I right? Get a 4-slice toaster and your breakfast will be 1,000 times better. The 4-slice toaster is also perfect for bagels, English muffins, frozen waffles, Pop-Tarts. The list goes on and on. The 4-Slice Toaster, available wherever quality small kitchen appliances are sold. Back to you, Seth.
So a listener of the podcast, Jim Timmerman, he's a constant contributor to the show, asked if you were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you had phone a friend, would you call Mike or Darren? I was like, wow, Jim, thanks for trying to split us apart there.
After
I think she's leaning toward you.
I
Walking
think
in the door, I think she was
like,
going to go
okay,
me, but I
Mike's
think
the weird
she's-
one.
I think she's joined Team Mike.
Who's better at trivia?
Oh, me, definitely.
Oh,
I know
then
more
I would
useless
say,
information than
I don't think so.
I know something useless. I'll tell you right now.
Okay, I hosted a show in college called Useless Knowledge.
I was reading about humor.
This is an interesting thing to fight about.
Yeah.
Here's a fascinating.
Who knows
here's
more useless information?
Humor
Uh-huh.
is actually an evolutionary advantage. Did you know this? I didn't know this until today. So the belief is that humor evolved because when people laugh together in community, that the way that they laugh shows the type of bond that they have, and that you can subconsciously tell if someone's fake laughing, like you're doing whenever I'm making a joke,
No.
versus an actual.
Can't believe you
Roll
called
the
her out.
cameras.
No.
Roll
No,
the
versus
cameras.
an actual laugh, and you subconsciously measure how well that other person or entity or whatever, because chimpanzees and apes, they also laugh.
Yeah.
That's a measure of how connected and into that community that other thing is. And the fake laughers are kind of subconsciously shunned, and the natural laughers are brought more into the fold, and the ones that can make the others laugh more become more and more liked in that community. It's fascinating. I just
Yeah.
read this. I was reading it at lunch
That
today.
checks out.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
I hope to be funny someday.
That's what pisses me off about this podcast is because, I try and I do the rundown and I write jokes and I've done stand up and I have on every day on Facebook, I try and do funny things on Facebook, and I'm friends with a lot of comedians. And then I come in here and then you are funnier than I am. And I don't like that.
Well, see, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true.
Okay.
I'll say that, but in person, I'll tell you that. I'm
yeah.
funny. Anyway, the point is, I think we've talked about it before. I think you were bullied.
Absolutely.
I was bullied.
Yes, I was.
And I think we learned relatively early that it's easier to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And get them away from you that way. Like if they're laughing with you or whatever, then they're less likely to bully you.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of formulated over the years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I couldn't fight, so I just became a sarcastic and then just, worked my way around it that way.
Yeah.
And, I remember in high school, the seniors could always cut line in front of the freshmen.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was like written in stone, but that's what we knew. And so I remember these seniors come in. It's like, hey guys, over here. I'm right. Come on, just let's get this over with. Yeah. If there's a chocolate milk left, can I have it? And then they would just get in front of me and do the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I developed my sarcasm because I remember early on in elementary school, I got in a few fights. I won some of them, got my ass kicked a few times too. And then I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I would just develop, and then over time I had to really dial that down because it turned into the fact that people didn't know if I was kidding or if I was being serious.
Yeah.
And then, so that was a problem too. So, I mean, it's like the ongoing effect that bullying has. It's not something that affects people in the moment. It stays with them their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Another serious moment here on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
So I want to ask an insightful question.
Okay.
What I think is an insightful question. So you have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Have you made pancakes for her? Has she made pancakes for you?
No.
Neither of you. Okay.
No pancakes.
I give the
one
relationship
difficult.
6 months.
This morning, I made her 2 sunny side up eggs with toast and butter.
Okay, I can work
And
with
my
eggs.
salsa.
Okay.
I can work with eggs.
Yeah.
Have you ever made something for her that you are also going to eat? Like I'm making a few of these and you get one and I get one or you get 2.
All the time.
Okay. All right. Who between you two is the most likely to take the best of those things?
Okay,
The
we've
most
talked about this
well-cooked
before.
Have you?
I always give her the best one.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily because I want her to have the best one. It's because I want her to think my cooking is amazing. So it's still selfish, you guys.
You want her to know that you're better than her.
Yeah.
I just want her to know that I can treat her well.
I think because this goes back to one of the early fights that Bess and I had. Probably one of the biggest fights we had was
Okay.
over who gets the good pancake.
Okay.
Because I would make pancakes that I thought were awesome, but they would start out sucky, and then towards the middle of the batch would be the most awesome pancakes
Yes.
ever, and then towards the end it's weird. And she would come over and she would look and she would leaf through the pancakes and pick out the best one. And it was just one morning, it was like, you always have to take the best pancake. And as she was doing that and walking away, she stopped, and I was like,
Oh, she stopped in her tracks.
This is not going to be good. She's like, what are you talking about? And at that moment, I realized how insane what I had just said was, but I went with it. I just went with it, like, you always take the best pancake. So years later, we're telling a story to people, and it's funny watching people's reaction to telling that story.
Yes.
And I've learned, I believe that if you ask people that question, who gets the best pancake, the answer, yours is very insidious. It's in there. I want you to
I need
know that I'm a
validation.
good cook. So you need
Yeah.
validation. So you get the really good one.
Yeah.
Now, how long has this relationship been going on?
11 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we need to reconnect here in about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
We'll find out now who's getting the good egg.
Amazing.
Well, see, the way our pancake story ends with, we don't have that argument anymore. Now it's transferred to the kids. So I make pancakes, and Andrew comes over and gets the good pancake. I'm like, what are you doing?
Wait, no, the kids don't get the good ones.
I know,
No.
exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
now you're on
No.
my side. Yeah.
Absolutely. The kids don't. You're making them. The kids get what they get.
Exactly.
And they say thank you.
Yeah. I got to know. I'm a little bit verklempt because you're a millennial.
Millennial.
Okay, so this is going to hurt. Who's your favorite band?
It's a singer named Lord.
A singer named Lord.
L-O-U-R-D.
With an E on the end? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Lord
Okay.
with an E on the end.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no. I knew this was going to be painful because I have
You
no
know
idea.
what? She's the one that
Just
sings
Royals.
that song that's like, and we'll never be royal, royal. No?
No, but that's the clip from this episode. That's
Okay.
going
Dude,
on.
I know who Lord is.
How do you? Well, yeah, you know things though.
Yeah.
I don't. I never.
You're the first person.
You know
to
what?
accuse me
Second
of knowing.
favorite is Lady Gaga.
Okay, I know who Lady Gaga
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Okay.
I got all the respect for Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
She,
me too.
you know, when she first came out, I used to think that she was kind of like a Madonna impersonator. Not so
Oh,
much with her
yes, yes,
sound,
yes.
but with her "I'm crazy" and "I'm inside an egg" and "Look at me" and
Yeah.
whatever. and then I found out that she actually has the pipes and she has the talent.
Yeah.
Oh, she does.
And I was so impressed with her when she sang with Metallica.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
when she came out and sang with Metallica, and then Lars is like, okay, she is the fifth member of Metallica.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. And she just damn killed it.
Yes.
I was like, okay, all the respect for Lady Gaga.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's that joke that if she went on tour with the Goo Goo Dolls, it'd be the Gaga Goo Goo tour.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
You
Yeah.
know,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I actually
we
have
gotta we gotta do one more thing before we can't close on that one. We
No,
cannot close on that.
we're
one.
not
So-
gonna
Well,
close
how
on
about
that.
this? How
Okay,
about this?
okay.
The fact that we're going to bring a couple different things together, a couple different callbacks.
Okay.
Okay.
They're not jokes though.
Yeah.
I will say, I met Lady Gaga. I was a senior in high school. I got on the news because I made a viral video on YouTube in 2010, and I sang to her in her own songs, "Please let me come to your concert." And so Good Morning America had me go stand in the audience for her, and I met her
my
backstage.
God.
That was amazing.
No way. That's awesome.
Then
Wow.
I posted the picture on my Facebook as I did in 2010.
Mhm.
And my parents were very new to social media. It was 2010.
Yeah.
So my dad writes on the post of me and Lady Gaga, "You're Goo Goo for Gaga." And my mom, who has met Johnny Resnick from the Goo Goo Dolls twice,
Okay.
Okay.
writes on that post, "And I'm Gaga for Goo Goo."
Oh wow.
So there you go, guys.
Wait. So the chances your mom has met Johnny Resnick twice.
Yeah.
Okay, how did that happen?
Um,
Your mom sounds pretty badass.
She, I don't want to, she is Gaga for Goo Goo. She
Okay.
loves the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay.
She was like, one of those mom groupies that
Uh-huh.
was like, I love them.
Mhm.
She would like buy tickets to their concert, be like fifth row, and then be like, "Who wants to come?" And everyone's like hiding. And
Oh.
we're like, "No, don't make us come."
What does
you
she
know?
bring brownies to and snacks?
Listen, yes, we would all just be like, "Okay, we'll go." So all of us have been to like multiple Goo Goo Doll
Okay.
concerts.
Does she like Collective Soul as well? Because they toured together. They keep touring together.
I
As I said, Mike and I are
one
huge
of the ones
Collective
I
Soul
went
fans.
to, because I went to 2 Goo Goo Doll concerts. One of them was Third Eye Blind, which I love.
Okay.
And then the other one, I don't remember, but
okay.
I was a little older.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. All right.
No, Libby and I, many years ago, it was in the 90s, went to see, it was Sugar Ray, the Goo Goo Dolls, and Fastball were to be the opening act. And she and I both really wanted to see Fastball.
Yeah.
And we drove from Johnson City to Knoxville for this concert. And we get there, and Fastball, they're not there. The sign says, sorry, Fastball ain't coming tonight.
Oh, okay.
And we were bummed. We're like, well, okay. So, and Sugar Ray ended up being great. We liked the Goo Goo Dolls, except for the bass player. The bass player was annoying the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
But Johnny Resnick is super cool, and I like all the songs that he does.
Yeah.
So no offense to the bass player, but I don't like him.
No, it's okay.
I don't mean anything by that. I just think he sucks.
You've got to be a really bad bass player to piss off somebody because
Well,
usually you don't even see them. Usually they're just over there doing their thing.
Well, Johnny will sing like 10 songs, and
the bass player
Billy,
sings like
what's
one.
his name? Yeah, he sings like 1 or 2,
Yeah.
and they're nothing at all like the other Goo Goo Doll songs. It's like a completely other band.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to try something different, and then it's like,
well, if he sings like that, I can
yeah,
see
and
it.
we're like, okay, yeah, so, yeah. Megan, will you teach us how to do a TikTok video?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because we have a TikTok channel, but basically all it is just audio clips of our show.
Okay.
But if you could help us and do that, then that would just absolutely mean the world to us.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions for us before you go? I mean, you're a journalist. You're probably sitting there just dying.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So many. How long have you guys been doing this?
2020, September 2020 was our first episode.
Wait, so you guys started this in the middle of the pandemic?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
We're almost at 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
which has flown by. It is actually, we do one a week, and we swore that we were going to keep doing it as long as it's fun, and we're still having a fun time.
We had some ground rules. We were always going to have an episode come out every week, no matter what.
Yeah.
We've had to repeat. I think he said at the beginning 3 times.
Right.
But even when we do that, we add some new things to it.
Oh, cool.
And we already talked about the no politics and those type of things.
Yeah.
But it's kind of changed a little bit. We've learned how to not step on each other, and I've learned to not push him to the point where he throws things at me.
That's always
we still have some things like I don't like the high or the
Yeah.
and I know that there's some things that I do that because I'll watch him and I'll be talking. It's happened a lot in this episode where
He
he's like,
slurps his coffee.
I slurp my coffee.
Well, you know what? I feel like actually you guys would be fascinated by this. When I first got to Cincinnati, I remember it was the first time that I really had to create this relationship with the meteorologist that I work with. I noticed that at moments where I had to improv or ad lib, it was just like more difficult to kind of think of things to say. So I actually went to OTR Improv and did a full, 8-week session with OTR Improv just to like get the basics down. Every single newscast that I do, I just have this mindset that's kind of like, if my co-anchor says something, you say like you in some way, yes, and then add to it.
And you
right?
add to it.
Yeah.
So like there's a little bit of comedy backbone that's like at the core of making a newscast look good too. It's the same thing. It's a performance, right?
Yeah.
You're so, more than probably anybody I've ever seen, so positive on air. And before I left the station, when I left, COVID had spiked again, and they had sent almost everybody out of the building again. And I was like, well, this is my last day, and I'm not going to hardly see anybody. And I got to see you before I left. And I remember I gave you a hug. You gave me a hug. And I thanked you for being so positive because, Mike, honestly, she could get shot in the stomach. It's like, oh my God, ow, this hurts. Wow. I'm bleeding a lot. And the smile, how do you stay so positive? Because I wish that what you had, I wish everybody could have some of that.
I'm going to be honest. I always get a little confused when people are like, you're so positive. And it's not like I don't think that I'm positive.
I think it's a great thing.
No.
Right.
I know. But like sometimes I'm on air and I'm like, this is the worst weather ever. Like this stinks, but we're all going to live through it. We're going to get through it.
Yeah.
And the thing is I just do everything in a somewhat sarcastic manner, but I'm saying things that are actually somewhat really demeaning to either the weather or my co-anchor or whoever, you know what I mean? And I think if you do everything in like good jest and good fun, we're we're all good. Like, we're all going to be okay.
Yeah.
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 My mom always says, we're going to laugh about this someday.
Yeah.
So let's say something bad happens. Whatever. Move on. You know what I mean? Throw the smile on.
Yeah.
You can get away with anything.
That's awesome.
So I would say, yes, I mostly am positive, but also I'm sarcastic, and we're going to get through it.
Yeah.
When's your last day at Channel 5?
Oh, the 1st of January.
Oh, okay. So you got some more time.
Yeah, but I don't care.
So
what are they going to do? Fire me?
Exactly. So everybody listen, you can, if you're not in the Cincinnati area, you can go to WLWT.com, or you can look at Megan on her TikTok, and she's on Instagram, and she's everywhere. So definitely check
She's
her
in the
out.
basement right now.
She's in our basement.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm the girl.
The girl's in the basement. But seriously, I cannot thank you enough. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for coming.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
No, this was
Thank
fun.
you.
Yeah, we want to tell everybody, if you go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, you can go to Patreon and you can give us money. You can help us keep the show going. Christmas is coming up. You can go to our store and you can buy, we have Irritable Dad Syndrome hoodies. We have Whompers All Beef Footlong Hot Dog t-shirts. We have beer mugs like the one I'm holding up right now.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. So do that. Help Mike and I keep this thing going. And we hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Can you believe it? We got another girl in the studio. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
This is horrible.
Well, hey, this is Megan Mitchell.
Okay.
Let me teach you how to do your job. So,
For God's sakes, Megan, be professional. What the hell? This is my basement.
yeah. Get her teleprompter. She can't do anything with that teleprompter.
Can I make?
Why are you so afraid of me?
I'm afraid of everybody right now. You people, you don't realize what this is like for me. You guys do this professionally. This stuff here. I'm just the dork over here next to a Darth Vader guy. So.